Hey guys, welcome back to Read With Me, LG. I've got a fun little series this week, more of the books by Roger Hargreaves. And they're these sweet little ones about these little characters. And the one we have today is Little Miss Late. And as someone who is always late for things, I really relate to Little Miss Late. So we're going to read about her, okay? All right, by Roger Hargreaves. Hargreaves? Late for this, late for that. Little Miss Late was late for everything. For instance, do you know where she spent last Christmas? At home, Early Bird Cottage. But do you know when she spent Christmas? January 25th, 1 month late. For example, do you know when she did her spring cleaning at Early Bird Cottage? In the summer, 3 months late. For instance, do you know when she went on her summer vacation last year? In December, 6 months late. Early Bird Cottage was just along the road from where a friend of hers lived, little Mrs. Neat. Last October, Miss Neat was out for an evening stroll when she looked over the hedge at Early Bird Cottage. Miss Late was in the garden. "Hello," called little Miss Neat. "What are you doing?" "I thought I'd cut the grass," replied Miss Late. "I think," remarked little Miss Neat, looking at the grass, "that you should have thought about that last April." Because her grass is so tall. "Tell you what," suggested Miss Neat. "Let's go shopping together tomorrow." "Good idea," agreed Miss Slate. "I'll meet you in town at the corner of Main and First Streets tomorrow afternoon," said Miss Neat. 2 o'clock. "I'll be there," replied Miss Slate. The following afternoon, little Miss Neat stood at the corner of Main and First Streets at 2 o'clock, waiting for Miss Slate. And she waited, and waited, and waited some more. Miss Slate arrived. "Sorry, I'm a bit late," she apologized. "Sorry," cried Miss Neat. "A bit late? It's 5 o'clock and all the shops are closed." "Sorry," said Miss Slate. And that's what happened all the time. It happened when Miss Slate decided to get a job. Her first job was in a bank. But the trouble was, by the time she arrived for work, the bank was closed for the day. Every day. "Sorry," she said. They asked her to leave. It happened at her second job, where she worked as a waitress in a restaurant. Mr. Greedy came in for lunch. He glanced at the menu. "I'll have everything," he grinned. Twice. He was still waiting to be served at 7 o'clock. So he went home. "Sorry," said Miss Late. They asked her to leave. It happened at her third job, while working as a secretary for Mr. Uppity. "I'd like these letters typed before I go home," Mr. Uppity said to her. He went home at 4 o'clock. In the morning. "Sorry," said Miss Late. He asked her to leave. However, as it happened, little Miss Late managed to find herself the perfect job. She now works for Mr. Lazy. She cooks and cleans for him, cleans his house every morning, cooks his lunch every lunchtime. Now, Mr. Lazy, being Mr. Lazy, doesn't get up in the morning like you and I do. He gets up in the afternoon. And little Miss Late, being little Miss Late, is always late for work. So she doesn't arrive for work in the morning. She arrives in the afternoon. And Mr. Lazy, being Mr. Lazy, doesn't have lunch at lunchtime like you and I do. He has lunch at supper time. And so you see, it all works very well. Very well indeed. Last Friday evening, the telephone rang in Early Bird Cottage. Little Miss Late had just arrived home from work. It was Mr. Silly on the telephone. "I've been given some tickets for a dance tomorrow night," he said. "Would you like to come?" "Oh, yes, please," said Miss Late eagerly. "Okay," replied Mr. Silly. "I'll pick you up at 7 o'clock." Last Saturday, Mr. Silly walked up the path to the front door of Earlybird Cottage. He knocked. "Come in," called a voice from upstairs. Mr. Silly went in. "Make yourself at home," called little Miss Late from upstairs. "I'll be down in a minute." I doubt she was down in a minute. What do you think? That was Little Miss Late, and I hope you guys really enjoyed that one. I think it's super cute and fun, and a good reminder that sometimes our things that we're not so good at are frustrating for other people, but sometimes we just have to find the right thing that works with how we are, right? But I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time on Read With Me, LG. Bye, guys.